is the Vintage RPG Podcast, your source for the best in classic and contemporary RPGs. With your hosts, Hambone and Stu.
Welcome to the Vintage RPG Podcast, coming at you again from the clubhouse hidden somewhere in the swamps of New Jersey. I'm John Hambone McGuire, and with me, as always, is the founder and publisher of Unwinnable. The only camp he's down with is in the form of B-movies, Stu Horvath.
It's true. I don't like the wilderness. If I'm going to go quote unquote camping, I'm going to have walls, windows, running water, and, if possible, air conditioning.
Yeah, I never was a guy who was so inclined to go camping. And, you always run into people like, oh my God, you've never been camping? No. There's like certain things I think I can go through my entire, and no shade to people who like to go camping, good on you. I love that you love it. But for me, there's certain things I'm happy going my entire life without doing, and having to shit in a hole outdoors is definitely high on the list.
I mean, I feel like the whole thrust of the human experience and evolution over 40,000 years has meant to, generationally, my ancestors were very keen on me not having to camp. I feel like that was a high motive sort of thing, that their existences, they laid down their lives in the interest of me not having to live in the outdoors, even for a weekend. Yeah,
I'm into that. I like my modern amenities. I like my climate controlled rooms.
Yeah.
I like my couch, like my television. Things like that. And also, I feel like there might have been a window for me when I was younger. I think there was definitely that small period of time between when I was like a weeblo and when I saw Friday the 13th. And that was a very rapidly closing window for your old buddy HB.
Yeah.
But what are we talking about today pertaining to said joke?
We are talking about a game called, well, it has two names. The game is called Thousand Year Old Campfire. But the book the game is contained in purports to be...
Haunted?
No.
All right. Worth a shot.
Old Morris Cave, a continuous use campsite in Mammoth Cave National Park by Professor Timothy Hutchins et al. Technical Series number 9, the St. Louis Museum of Ethnology and Brandel University, published in 1980.
All right.
So it's a complete hoax, of course, because Tim Hutchins is the author of the fantastic solo game, Thousand Year Old Vampire.
I noticed a theme here.
Yeah, of which this is a descendant, mechanically and also thematically. I kind of knew that he wrote this, but I didn't pick it up immediately because I was just I don't really care about a solo RPG about a campsite. It was just my initial reaction. But then I saw it at the Indie Press booth at Gen Con last year, and I immediately bought it, no questions asked, because of the way it looked. You're not supposed to judge a book by its cover and all that, but covers are important, and that's how they communicate to you initially. It's the biggest marketing tool a physical book has. And this one was resonating with something that I had been recently fascinated with. When my father-in-law passed away, he was a big New Jersey history buff, and just New Jersey life in general. And I've been slowly, rescuing his books, specifically the New Jersey stuff, just because I like New Jersey, because I live here and it's the best state.
It is the best state in the goddamn world. Pound for pound, any country, any place on earth, New Jersey, number one.
I 100% agree. But amongst his books on New Jersey were a series of books published by the New Jersey Agricultural Society. And they are square bound, literally paper bound. The cover is just a piece of colored cardstock that is only slightly thicker than the actual paper page stock. Nothing on the binding on the spine. It's just paper. It's a really specific look for these sorts of historical or archaeological agricultural books. The one I'm holding in my hand is The History of Applejack from 1954.
Really?
Yeah, and it's they are just they're super niche subjects these were annuals that were issued by the Agricultural Society. And I think the Agricultural Society was literally a guy named Harry B. Weiss at that time, and he just wrote a book every year. There's one about like New Jersey hatters, like the fur trade, early New Jersey, this, that, and the other thing, and they're really cool. And I love that kind of specialized knowledge. I love the look of the books. They have just a really good tactile feel, and that's exactly what Old Morris Cave looks like. It's just brown paper. I mean, it's a little fancier. The paper inside has like slight gloss to it, but the idea is the same. Like these are. And you could find books like this at historical sites across the country, like especially ones of like particular archaeological interest. And they're great. So because of that, I kind of immediately reevaluated my initial impression of like a game about a campsite.
All right.
Because it's just sort of like, I was like, oh no, now I get this. I totally understand what he's going for. And I picked it up and I read it, and it's fantastic, of course, because Thousand Year Old Vampire is a fantastic game. The idea is, so there is no Old Morris Cave. Mammoth Cave National Park does actually exist and is the inspiration for one of the earliest text adventure games, Colossal Cave Adventure, that came out publicly in 1976, which is sort of, when that was made, it was, they used the basic layout of those caves and then put like a light fantasy role-playing element to it. So like there's already an interplay, like sort of a meta thing going on before we even get to the hoax of the idea that Tim Hutchins is pretending to be a archaeologist from the 70s putting together this book. And the book really purports to be sort of a archaeological study of this cave, this fictional cave. The way you are taking the role of Hutchins as archaeologist. So like there's levels of the meta. So like he's pretending to be an archaeologist from the 70s. You're pretending to be him, pretending to be an archaeologist from the 70s, and so on.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great. And you start from the very, very bottom of the strata. You have this strata chart, which is a blank sort of, it's like a cross-section view of the dig. So you start with the empty strata chart, right? Each turn you fill in one layer with a random kind of stratum. So like type of dirt. And then you, based on what stratum you pick or you're given, you go to a flow chart, which you roll through and tells you the story of that moment in time. Some of these are just like, oh, you're a snake or a mouse sort of seeking shelter in the cave, or you're a bunch of asshole teenagers like partying in the cave, or like this, that, or the other thing. There's a whole bunch of different stories that you explore over the course of the game. And it's cool because you go through the flow chart of the story, but the only thing you record is the material that those characters leave behind or interact with. So, something might come into the cave and die, and then there'll be a skeleton, and then, the dirt buries the skeleton. But then something else will come into the cave and try and like dig up that skeleton because it can smell the bones and wants to eat it. So you might have to draw the skeleton, draw the dirt, and then erase part of the skeleton and change to reflect the history. So you're not only recording what's there, but you're also recording the stuff that is no longer there. I think that's an interesting sort of commentary on history and archaeology and memory, very similar to the way Thousand Year Old Vampire works, with you're constantly recording and removing memories, but a whole lot less sad. This is not a...
I've lived long enough to watch everyone I love and care about die.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't want to say that it's uplifting because it is still sort of a melancholy game in a lot of ways, but it's a broader sort of melancholy, or just like an acknowledgement of the passage of time makes for a wistful experience maybe. But it's like a Thousand Year Old Vampire can become intensely depressing. Whereas I don't see that happening so much in Colossal Cave Adventure. There's a meta twist at the end once you get through. I don't want to spoil that because it does add another level of like interesting to it. But I think talking about it diminishes the impact of the game in ways that you wouldn't be able to. Like I'm not a spoilers guy. I don't care. I often read about the ending of a movie before I watch it. Like I don't think that the surprise is the lowest form of entertainment possibly. But sometimes I think that the journey is the destination, and the destination can be the destination too.
As I've gotten older, I definitely agree with you more on that. 100%. I think there's certain things where like I don't want to know the finish of ahead of time, like, and that's pro wrestling because even though it is obviously scripted, it's about the journey that you're experiencing to get to that finish in real time.
Yeah.
But except for and I look back at it all the time, like except for like say, that time. I think I mentioned at the show where I was online to go see The Village from M. Night Shyamalan, and someone was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it was this." And I'm not going to spoil it, even though it's like a billion years old at this point. And I was like, "Well, that was the kind of his whole gimmick was like, the twist." So I left, and I'm not upset that I did because apparently the movie was terrible. Never actually seen it all the way through.
But that's the thing, right? It's like that spoiler saved you the trouble because the only thing that movie had was the build up to the twist, and if the twist isn't good,
Yeah,
what's the point?
that is the friggin' point.
Yeah, you save time and money.
Yeah.
So I don't think that this is a twist, but I think that the ending is intrinsically linked to your playthrough in a way that's really interesting, and I think that talking about it in further detail would diminish your overall experience with the game in a way that is unusual. I don't think that the ending is usually so inextricably tied to the act of play, or when you're watching a movie or whatever. But it's cool. It's worth checking out. I think that it's a lot less labor intensive because Thousand Year Old Vampire is a journaling game, so there's a bit of writing. I think that is naturally, even if you're just doing like light notes, I think that the game just sort of encourages is the wrong word. I think that if you're playing Thousand Year Old Vampire, you're in a certain mindset. Even there's no such thing as just little notes. Like you're going to embellish it naturally, the narrative as you go. I think that it's just like the game sort of demands that out of you. This is just drawing, and it's drawing a really specific kind of pattern for each strata, and then small details. So like I think that the demand on your labor is lower. But I also think that the stratum charts are really beautiful in their way, even for somebody who has like not a lot of drawing talent, because you're basically following clear examples of how they are supposed to come together. And his examples aren't like, beautiful drawings really. What are beautiful are the flowcharts in an interesting way, like an information design perspective. I was really impressed with how pleasing the flowcharts are and how they reflect the narrative in ways that you don't know, but you get visually before you even start the narrative just by looking at the flowchart.
That's a cool vibe, man.
It's cool and it's interesting, and like it's interesting in a way that I don't want to think about it too much because like I feel like if I pick at it, I'll understand it, and then like some of the beauty will disappear.
Yeah.
It's cool. Tim makes really fascinating, interesting games, even if and he's actually like in terms of stuff I want to play, I like hit or miss. Like I think that I've really only devoted time to actually playing Thousand Year Old Vampire and this one, whereas a lot of his other, like he's got a game that uses similar mechanics about family vacation photos. There's a book, an art book that's like art lessons in a book form, like from like the olden days, and like they're interesting, but like they don't click with me in a way that I want to play them. And I think that's really good that his experiences that he's loading out are very specific, and that it's so clear to me that I don't want to play. I own a bunch of them, and I've read a bunch of them, but like it's interesting to me to have a designer like make games where it's just like it's so upfront clear to me that like I don't want to play that because I know I'm not going to respond to it in a way that is going to be fun or interesting to me. So I can sort of look at it and be interested in it and then set it aside. Whereas I could pick up Old Morris Cave and be like, this is amazing, and like get everything out of it he takes a lot of the guesswork out of it, I guess is what I'm saying, in a way that like a lot of games you don't know if it's going to be fun until like you try it. I feel like I have a clear understanding of Tim Hutchins games because there's just ones that I'm just like I don't want to play that, but it's interesting, it's cool, but I don't want to play that. Somebody else will play that.
Yeah, and you know what? That's totally a cool and valid way to experience, the hobby. Sometimes like some things are just, you know, for those who are going to get down to business and play it, they're going to be like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen." And for those who appreciate it as an artistic medium, that's equally cool too.
Yeah, I mean, not for me is a valid response. It's not a commentary on the worthiness of the game or the artfulness of the game. It's just like I don't want to play that. Like that doesn't good as
Yeah.
I'm not on that. It's not on my vibe, you know.
But we will devote an entire episode to it because it's undeniably cool.
Yeah. I do want to mention. I don't think I mentioned this formally. There was a post about it because we're talking about Tim's games and Thousand Year Old Vampire. He published this fella named TJ Denny. I hope that's the right way to pronounce it. Posted his a graphic novel version, basically panel by panel on Twitter, as he was playing Thousand Year Old Vampire a few years ago, and Hutchings published it, and it's great. It is the full title is an account of the lengthy existence and numerous experiences of Ambrose Backhouse Vampire, with special attention to those years in which he walked upon the earth, though dead. An illustrated novel by T.J. Denny.
A perfect title.
Yeah, it's just so long. It's a horizontal book, so it's probably 12 inches long, but maybe 5 inches high, 4 inches high. So it's like
okay.
it's freaking impossible to put on the bookshelf. It's like an object that is constantly like either I have to stand it up straight so that I can see the pages, which looks weird on the shelf, or it's like jutting out like half a foot away from all the other books. So it's constantly bringing attention to itself,
Which just makes you want to read it more because you can't ignore it.
His playthrough is great. His art is great. There is stuff that is spooky and interesting and weird, and there are, like the game itself, there's these amazing threads that just get dropped and don't get picked up again, and that's beautiful and frustrating at the same time. And it's a good read if you see a copy, or if you're a fan of Thousand Year Old Vampire generally. I think that it's worthwhile to check out. It's a great vampire story. It goes in directions that are unusual, and it looks I don't want to say good. It's a beautiful book. It really is. It's green boards, gold embossed. But it is an aggravating book too, because like I said, it's an odd format, and it just sticks out like a sore thumb, in the best possible way.
Yeah, sometimes the OCD can't handle it. I get it.
Yeah. It's not even OCD. It's just like I don't know where to put it.
Yeah.
Like it's a logistical thing. Should I even have it in the clubhouse? Should it be on my, with my comics? I don't even know. But
Yeah.
it's just yet another meta puzzle that I feel like Tim Hutchings has inspired or put into the world. So
very cool. Now, before I get into my new segment, which is Crowdfunding Corner, still workshopping the name, one thing I want to shout out is Beelzebub Hubbub from Paul of Cthulhu Productions. Now, as you know, we love WHPA Fairhaven. Joey Royale is a dear friend. Joey Royale also is super supportive of people in the Fairhaven community putting out third-party stuff. Now, this one in particular, I feel like is important to mention because Paul of Cthulhu is a 15-year-old kid. Like legitimately, like I was at ShireCon. He's friends with Joey's son. I met him for the first time there. And he is like a kid, like my age when I first really picked up a guitar and started giving it a go as a musician. And, he pitched this idea to Joey, and I may be telling this wrong, but like Joey calls it the first ever WHPA scholarship because Paul wrote this adventure and like designed the adventure, and then Joey did the layout, and then Joey printed it out for Paul. And now Paul is selling this. Now you can get it over on Drive-Thru RPG, Beelzebub Hubbub. $7 on Drive-Thru RPG. There's a very limited stock of them physically printed at Paul of Cthulhu's Etsy, but as you know, Etsy, and I'm doing this on the fly, Etsy is impossible to find people's shops. So you may have to do a little deeper dive into it, but the concept is cool. Beelzebub is coming to Fairhaven. Local children report being taken to Mount Smoky and witnessing satanic rites during a Boys and Girls Club meeting. Children seemingly unharmed but must undergo hypnosis to remember the events witnessed. Reverend Zebulon Gemstone has taken to his 8 p.m. public access spot to spread news about the case. His show, Infected with Jesus, quickly rises to the top of the Fairhaven charts. Are there truly demons in Fairhaven, or is something more sinister afoot? I mean, when you look at the cover of this thing, like, we often talk about, like, the cool thing about, like, being a kid and, like, drawing, like, heavy metal shit on your notebook at school and on your book covers and stuff like that. And this cover is clearly drawn by a 15-year-old kid. And I say that in the truest and most complimentary way, because that's the kind of energy that we need in the world. We need young creators to just say, damn the torpedoes, and go for it. I mean, the kid just happened to know the guy who created Fairhaven, but, like, I felt like it was important for me to mention this on the show today, because, I was a kid once and I had a dream, and I did a lot of things in my life where I shot my shot, and it got me to where I am today. So kids creating things that are undeniably cool should be celebrated. Paula Cthulhu Productions on Drive Thru RPG, Beelzebub Hubbub. Let's get this kid at least to, like, a bronze or whatever, like the first rung is on Drive Thru RPG. It's pretty cool.
I have bad news.
What's that?
For our listeners who were hoping to get a physical copy, because I bought the last one. Sorry.
Oh, look at that! I told Joey it's gonna sell out by, like, Monday, but, like, this is cool, man. Like, this is what this is all about. The beauty of this hobby is people saying, screw it, man, I'm gonna go for it. And the kid did it, man, and I'm proud of him. I don't know him very well, but I'm always proud to see kids just giving it a go. And physical media, didn't use AI. He drew the cover himself. Nothing cooler than that. So check it out. Even if you're not super into WHP Fairhaven, you are literally supporting a young creator.
Yeah.
It probably even got a junior prom yet. I don't even know if they still do junior proms. I'm old.
I don't know. It's weird. Prom was always weird. So
it was always weird. Crowdfunding corner, though. Still workshopping the name. I'm not, like, completely sold on it. A lot of cool stuff going on. Death City and Bug Busters that we talked about previously in the show are funded. Under the Shadow of the Noonday Witch, which also has a super long title that I'm not going to get into right now because at the tail end of the episode, is funded. And by the time you hear this episode, we'll be within 1 day of wrapping up. So if you want to support your old buddy HB, if you love the idea of the sickest witch, Sally and Gio are writing a real monster of an adventure. So Under the Shadow of the Noonday Witch on Kickstarter as well. Mouse Ritter month is coming to BackerKit. Now, this is pretty cool. It's going to be a group collab project led by Losing Games, Games Omnivorous, and Exalted Funeral. An abundance of fantastic new works from 16 of Mouse Ritter's community of third-party creators. Some of the creators involved will be Joey Royale and Tiger Wizard. And they have a cool thing going on where if you back 7 or more projects, including Junk City, which is what Exalted Funeral is putting out for Mouse Ritter Month, you get a free pack of 16 wooden mice meeples, which are friggin' cute. Oh, my God. They're adorable, and some of them look very dangerous. But I think it's a very cool thing that's about to happen over on BackerKit. A bunch of cool indie RPG writers getting together, putting out different products. Everyone's supporting each other. Group collab projects are really cool. So check out Mouse Ritter Month. It'll be launching, I want to say, the day after this episode airs. So November the 4th, I'll be at therapy that day. So yeah, I'll be also backing some of these projects during Mouse Ritter Month. Finally, if you're looking for something cool to pick up on Etsy, if you go to hamandeggpublishing.com, it'll take you to my Etsy. I did a group collaboration zine with the Mystic Punk guys, Levi from Planet X Games, Joey from WHPA. It's called Halloween Trash. It's $10, comes with a PDF, and it's 5 system agnostic adventures. So you can play it with any kind of system you want, except for the ones that Mystic Punk wrote. They actually wrote it for Mystic Punks. Spoilers, did not see that coming. But check it out. Klon Waldrop did the cover. It is pretty good to go. So this has been another amazing episode of the Vintage RPG Podcast. Stu, where can people find you on the internet?
They can find me at vintagerpg.com. I think I mentioned already that all of the posts are complete for all of 2026.
Love it.
There's a newsletter where I definitely said that, and you should sign up for that. It comes out every Friday. And Yeah, so we have at least one more year of posts. I think that we could do 2027 for sure, and then I might not have anything left. If you want me to continue into 2028, consider joining our Patreon, and so I can buy more of this stuff.
Being the fact that we're not actually influencers, we actually have to pay for shit. So,
yeah. Well, also most of the shit that I write about is by companies that no longer exist, so they can't even send me free stuff.
There is that, we're sponsored by estate sales mostly at this point, where you have to go and find them from dead people.
Osprey Books just sent me one of their new games on the house, and like I was just like, this is like so wonderful because it's a great game, and I'm excited to have it. But like the idea of the press copy is not so much a thing in the world of tabletop role-playing games because the margins are so small.
A little pull back behind the curtain. I do get emails coming in all the time. Not emails, DMs, and sometimes emails where they're like, hey, you have this, you are doing this, and we like that you do this, and that you have like this many followers, and we love that your show is about this, this, and this. And it's just like an AI form letter. Basically, like they looked at the computer went, oh my God, it's this, and it's just they're filling in the blanks and holes. Like, we think you'd be a great fit for a brand ambassador. I get a lot of watch companies that I've never heard of trying to be like, hey, you could be a brand ambassador. We'll give you a 45% discount on this watch to be our brand ambassador. I'm like, first off, no. Secondly, like, I think you're barking up the wrong tree. So
yeah,
we never get hit up by anybody who's like actually would be aligned with what we do.
Actually, I mean, so many near hits when I was doing the Instagram. I used to get lots of offers for ambassadoring Gothic jewelry, which is like, all right, you're like in the ball, like it's like the wrong. It's like we're gonna go see Iron Maiden next year at a football stadium. It's like it doesn't have anything to do with soccer. But like that's the same sort of thing. It's like yeah. I mean, sometimes I'm in a soccer stadium for a heavy metal show, but that doesn't mean that I like soccer necessarily. And it's just Gothic jewelry, very close, no cigar.
Manscaped came at me a lot of times for like, would you like to be a brand ambassador? I'm like, no, man,
no, I'd rather die.
Yeah, I'd rather die. Anyway, you can find me across the internet at John McGuire RPG. I've been posting. Just doing stuff, support Under the Shadow of the New Indie Witch on Kickstarter. Last day tomorrow, if you're hearing this in the month of November in 2025. If you like the show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Your reviews really do help other listeners to find us. If you really like the show, why not become a patron? Patreon.com/vintagerpg. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. For as little as $1 a month, you get the episode early, sometime between Friday and Sunday, depending on when we record it. Stu's been doing a Monday watch along for Millennium, which is pretty neat.
Boy, was that an uplifting experience this week. Jeez. Like, I'm not going to get into the app. It's one that I completely blocked out. I don't remember it at all. Frank is barely in it. Why was I thinking this would be a fun and lighthearted thing to do? It's a very grim show, folks.
Yeah. So come wallow in misery on Monday nights with Stu watching Millennium.
Every Monday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central?
Sure. What are time zones? At the $5 tier, I run a monthly game. I tend to try to run stuff that is, the things we talk about on the show sometimes. I also have an ongoing 100 fantasy game. It's a play-by-email correspondence campaign. We're getting a little better kind of figuring out the logistics of it. It's kind of a new thing for me trying to do a play-by-email campaign, but it's going pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. The $10 tier, you can get in on my game and on Stu's deadly long-running Wedge Marches campaign, which is pretty sweet as well. We also got a killer Discord community we'd love for you to be a part of. Patreon.com/vintagerpg. So for Stu Horvath, I'm John Hambone McGuire. May the dice always roll in your favor. Take care. Thanks for listening. The Vintage RPG Podcast is a ham-fisted production. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Schaefer Brown. Edited by R. Alex Murray. Check us out at vintagerpg.com.